starting with CRABS. They created an app for the differently abled cafe trainees to be connected to their trainers and take their instructions seamlessly.
Hi, sorry, do give us a while to share the screen. Okay, so without further ado, we'll get started with our presentation. So hi everyone, thank you for joining us. We're Team CRABS and we'll be sharing about our app Mint, which is designed for ATSN Cafe trainees. So before we get into the app, here's a short self-introduction. From left to right, top to down, we have Mr. Hani, who is our community partner representative. We have Ms. Hettel, who was our mentor and app design expert. And the team itself consists of Savon, Ishang, and myself, who are year 3 students who are currently year 4 students at NUS High School. So our presentation will be broken down into 3 segments, namely where we started, where we are now, where there will be a live demo of our app, and where we want to go, where we'll be covering future extensions. So how did all this start? The problem statement that we chose was one on independent empowerment with 3 main problems identified. Namely, firstly, the problem statement mentioned a space constraint where the cafe has limited space to put up visual aids. So to this, we actually developed an app where there will be a digital interface and a compilation of all the recipes. Secondly, there was a concern of it being too wordy, where sorry, next slide, please. Yeah, a concern about it being too wordy, where we basically made the app largely picture-based and a lot of images. So the reason why we did this was also to cater to both visual and audio learners, as well as take into consideration a potentially noisy kitchen where text-to-speech features may not be clear. So lastly, the issue of illiteracy, where we included a text-to-speech function, which you guys will see in the live demo later. So thus began the brainstorming where we ideated and went through the user experience for both the trainers and also the trainee end. On to Savon.
So the first thing that we had to code was the backend database structure and the hosting of the web app. We use Flutter Web, which is a UI development kit that allows any device with a web browser to access the app. After that, we settled the backend architecture. Firebase, cloud storage, and database were used as they integrate well with Flutter. Recipes can then be created, updated, and retrieved almost instantaneously. We also coded the text-to-speech functionality by means of a plugin that enables the vocalization of text. And now, Savon will present a live demo of our app.
For this section, we are going to show you some of the features as well as the accessibility and usability considerations that we took while creating our app. In the interest of time, we'll be demoing the most important part of the app, which is what the trainees will see. I'm going to start this demo by opening the app on my browser. Mint is made accessible on any device, such as phones, tablets, or laptops. Check out how our app works on iPads that trainees will use in our video after this presentation at our booth. The first thing that trainees are going to be greeted with when they open the app is this name selection screen. We designed it to be really straightforward for trainees to quickly sign in to start using the app. Instead of having the usual username and password combination fields like other apps, trainees can just select their name, which is what I'm going to do now, and they're in. In the APSN kitchen, before trainees can start handling food, they have to remember to wash their hands and put on their PPE. So that's what this screen is for. Every time the app is launched, they will make sure that they have performed the following steps before they're able to access the recipes and start handling food. Each step is accompanied by a large image that shows what should be done for the step. This is one of our accessibility considerations to ensure that trainees can easily understand what each step requires them to do, regardless of their reading level. Furthermore, if you take a look at this speaker icon over here, this is actually a button which we call the listen button. Some trainees have trouble reading texts, but we believe that that shouldn't hinder them from navigating the app and understanding what is being said. Hence, on every step, we have this helpful button that when clicked,
have you put on your gloves?
Vocalizes what is written on the screen. Let's finish our preparation. Now we have come to the main screen of the app. This is the recipe catalog screen where trainees can see all the recipes that they are currently learning. We do not allow the trainees to see every recipe of every single dish served in the cafe. Instead, recipes that they are currently learning are shown. This makes the app experience more relevant and personalized for each trainee. Each recipe also comes with a large image showing what the dish is to allow trainees to quickly find recipes. Let's try learning how to make chicken wings, and I'll start by clicking anywhere on this chicken wings card. We reused similar UI elements from the preparation screen into this recipe instruction screen to ensure that trainees are familiar with how the app is used. Again, trainees can listen to the instructions by clicking this button.
Take 3 chicken wings out of the fridge.
The home button on the top left here allows trainees to exit the recipe. However, when a home button is clicked, it doesn't instantly bring them back to the recipe catalog page in case the button was accidentally pressed. Let's continue the recipe for now. As we go through this recipe, we can see this delightful animation that adds character to this app and also enforces the idea that these are a series of steps to be completed in order. At the end of the recipe, we celebrate the completion of a recipe with a cute crab illustration. We were told that trainees really love cartoons and work best when they're encouraged and praised for things that they complete well. So we added this illustration along with a congratulatory message. That's all I'm going to cover now for the demo, and I'm going to pass the time back to Yishang to share with you more about the instructor's console.
So here's a summary of all the accessibility features covered earlier by Simone, as well as more that we didn't entertain. You can check out our slides to learn more about each of these considerations. And we hope that the live demo has offered you a glimpse into the app as a trainee. And as for the instructors at APSN, they also have their own separate console. And the first page is the recipes page, where instructors can add recipes with images alongside the steps. The second page displays a list of all the trainees. Instructors can assign them recipes and view their progress. Moving on, we do have many other ideas we hope to implement in the future by working closely with APSN. So we have 3 main things that we hope to implement, namely physical tablet holders at the APSN, and a quiz function for trainees to test their knowledge, and a gamification system to keep them engaged in their learning. With that, thanks for listening. For all those who want to try the demo by themselves, here's the link and the QR code to our website.
That's all we have for our presentation. Thank you. If you guys have any questions, do let us know.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Team CRABS. We have a question from the audience. This attendee really likes the app and they hope that you could elaborate on some of the accessibility features or considerations that you made while you were designing the app.
Yeah, I think we have a summary slide actually for all the accessibility features, but maybe just to run through some of the thinking processes also, I think we did try to make it intentionally very familiar in terms of the UI. So all the interfaces, we tried to make it stuff that we found out the apps from the community partner, like apps that the trainees already are familiar with. So we tried to copy those interfaces as inclusive of one of the apps that they actually use for training right now. So we tried to kind of like replicate that user interface so that it wouldn't be too like confusing or difficult to learn. And also in terms of things like the preparatory processes, how once you log into the app, it automatically prompts you for the preparation. It's because we wanted to create a very guided decision-making process kind of thing instead of just leaving all the buttons and all the options available on a screen. So we wanted to kind of guide that decision process making in terms of how you navigate the app to make it more streamlined and easier for the trainees to navigate. Maybe Savon, Ishang, you guys have anything to add?
So I'd also like to add on another accessibility feature that we took note of is that we tried to put all the important information that trainees would need in the front and center and large in the middle of the screen. So for example, when you're going through a recipe, each step will be placed in the center of the screen and there'll be a large image. This large image is placed at the center so that they can refer easily to these images and easily understand the steps and find recipes. We also took note to, when writing in the app, we took note to make it concise, direct, and clear. So we took note to use really simple and direct language so that it's easy to understand and easy to know what's going on when they're navigating the app.
Oh, and also just to add on, right? I'm not sure if this was like covered very strongly in the presentation itself, but a lot of the things we did let it be controlled on by the trainers console, just so that because we trust that the trainers, of course, would know how to tailor the experience best. So in terms of even like the steps or the phrasing of the steps, all these are controlled by the trainers. And there are like a lot of other things they can do, like upload real pictures of what it looks like in the kitchen. So all these we hope will contribute to like the ease in navigating and accessing the app. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Team CRABS.